A national security law recently imposed on Hong Kong is silencing dissent. Dozens of people are still out protesting, but many of their slogans have been outlawed. So they're carrying blank posters to avoid being arrested on terrorism and sedition charges.
These slogans will always be in my heart, and those words will always stay on white paper, which will never disappear. They can silence us, create white terror, and let us censor ourselves, but our heart will never die.
Many books that challenge mainland China's claim over Hong Kong or criticize the government in Beijing have already been pulled from libraries and shops. And residents fear firewalls that keep people on the mainland from accessing social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Google may soon spread to Hong Kong as well.
I believe the government will take action against social media platforms. We won't be able to use these applications in the future.
Hong Kong's government is threatening fines and jail terms for publishers, internet service providers, and social media platforms that don't conform to its new laws. That's prompting tech giants to review their operations in the territory. Facebook and Zoom say they've suspended processing government requests for user data in Hong Kong. Twitter is doing the same, citing grave concerns over the implications of the new national security law on freedom of expression. Google says it will continue removing content at the government's request, but is holding off on sharing user data with authorities. Meanwhile, TikTok says it's pulling out of Hong Kong. The video sharing platform is owned by the Chinese firm ByteDance, but is available only outside the mainland. Its withdrawal could land it in hot water with the US government. Washington says it's considering a ban on the platform for enabling China to silence dissent.
We've worked on this very issue for a long time, whether it was the problems of having Huawei technology in your infrastructure. We've gone all over the world and we're making real progress getting that out. We declared ZTE a danger to American national security. We've done all of these things with respect to Chinese apps on people's cell phones. I can assure you the United States will get this one right too.
Beijing says its new law will not undermine human rights, but its assurances are doing little to allay fears among the people of Hong Kong. And soon, their social media timelines may also become blank, just like the posters at their protests. Mubin Nasir, TRT World.
For more on this, tech analyst Jason Moon joins us now from London. He's a hacker who now advises governments and corporations on how to prevent cyber attacks. Welcome to Money Talks, Jason. Now, TikTok, as we know, is a hugely popular social media app. We've all seen those videos with people dancing and lip syncing to popular songs. But I think TikTok surprised many in the tech world by announcing its sudden withdrawal from the Hong Kong market, particularly because it's actually owned by a Chinese company. Why do you think it's done that?
Well, there's been quite a backlash against these new draconian security measures that Beijing has forced upon Hong Kong. The list of tech firms which have stated that they will be suspending user info requests from the Hong Kong authorities are now, it's a really long list now. Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, Zoom, Telegram. Yeah, it's been interesting to see the sort of international response to this. The backlash has been quite immense and is picking up inertia even still. But it is surprising in that it's curious that even a Chinese company would kind of join that group. Yeah.
We also know that TikTok has really tried to distance itself from its Chinese home base. It recently hired a former Disney executive to run the company. It's also, even at one point, thought about moving its headquarters, and that comes as the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says it may consider banning apps such as TikTok. Do you think this sudden withdrawal from Hong Kong could be perhaps an attempt to win over the Trump administration and reassure officials that it is separate from the Chinese government?
Oh, for sure. They're definitely trying to stand with the other tech firms. Of course, trying to ingratiate themselves with the West because their market is the West. I mean, it's quite a dangerous tightrope to traverse for them. So I'm not sure how it's going to fare for them, because obviously Beijing's not going to be very pleased about this. But it's good. I mean, in my mind, it's good to see that they have joined the others in this sort of condemnation of what's been happening in Hong Kong, at least. So we'll have to see how it goes.
And the others, as you mentioned, include Facebook, Twitter, Google, and Microsoft, who all say they'll no longer cooperate with authorities in Hong Kong in surrendering information to them. What do you think has prompted this? Do you think this is a sign that companies can no longer operate in a vacuum, that they do have to consider the political implications of their operations?
Yeah, I mean, let's see how long it lasts for, because in a sense, if they're refusing to cooperate with the authorities there, how long will they even be allowed to actually exist in that territory? Because you can imagine that it would be an infringement of law in a way if you're not adhering to. I mean, these things, these new laws, you don't even need a warrant anymore. But in a sense, if you're refusing to comply with the new law, then that could be dangerous territory for these tech firms. So we'll have to see how this develops as it goes forward. I'll be surprised if this carries on for too long. I can't see how they can sustain it. They may have to end up pulling out of the actual territory itself, like TikTok have done. Maybe they're just the first. We'll have to see.
Now, the Trump administration and other governments around the world have warned about the rise in popularity in foreign-owned apps such as TikTok and Russia's Face app even. Is there a real security threat in downloading and using apps that are based in places like China and Russia?
Yeah, more so when that first started. Phones are getting wiser now. The way they change, the way you can configure what privacy data is shared with those apps is getting more sophisticated. So it's kind of an evolving thing. Usually when these apps are new, they take much more data from you than you realize or would wish to share. It takes a while for the phone companies to sort of cotton on to this and bring out a new version of the OS that locks that stuff down. So it's getting better. There is an inherent risk, and you always have to realize that you're probably sharing a lot more than you realize. But it is getting better over time, and hopefully will continue to do so. But it's obviously you have to be careful.
Okay, tech analyst Jason Moon in London, thank you again for sharing with us your analysis.